Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Some West Fargo parents are questioning why they weren't notified sooner surrounding a school shooting threat. A student is on suspension and is not being allowed back while the investigation is underway.
Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie explains what happened and what the district is doing to calm the waters.
The West Fargo School District sent out this updated email late Thursday afternoon telling parents about the school shooting threat made by a student at Cheney Middle School. In it, they say the student is going to be held out for the rest of the week. What we know is that on Wednesday, students told school officials about the boy making threats. A check of his locker found nothing, and the boy was sent home with his parents. Parents remain concerned about how the incident was handled.
I was on edge for the rest of the day. I went and picked up my stepson from school. We drove by. There was no police presence there. I was really, really shocked. We don't know if that threat was real or not, but every threat needs to be perceived as such.
A threat assessment is part of the investigation, and the school says once completed, parents and students will be notified.
I would prefer to be notified within a couple of hours if the threat has been contained.
District officials tell us the school's principal will make a school-wide announcement Friday morning to address the rumors. Counselors will also be there for students needing reassurance. The threat assessment is lengthy, 21 pages long. They'll be trying to figure out what motivated the student. Is there a history of violent behaviors and the mental health of the student? It also wants to determine if there was someone or a group of people that were targeted by the threat. Finally, it's the method the district will use to figure out the best action to take moving forward. Andrea?
Courtney, thank you. The district says they have been talking with police and are confident in their decision to have school tomorrow.
A machine shop on the outskirts of Moorhead is no more after being destroyed by flames earlier this evening. We now know that no one was injured in that large fire. However, the fire marshal has not said what sparked the blaze. It happened on the 43,000 block of 110th Avenue North late this afternoon. When crews arrived, the shop was engulfed. A viewer told us they could see smoke from miles away. Emergency crews are still there at this hour, making sure all the hot spots are put out.
A semi-driver is facing charges after police say he didn't stop at a railroad crossing and his entire haul ended up getting sheared in half by a train. 82-year-old Arlo Stedman was injured in the crash. Investigators say he was coming from a soybean field to a rural grain elevator west of New Rockford when he didn't stop for the oncoming train. Stedman was not seriously hurt. No one on the train was injured.
Meanwhile, troopers say a pickup pulling a trailer with porta potties on it was traveling from Ohio to Edinburgh, North Dakota. And at one point during the trip, troopers say the driver ran off U.S. Highway 2 and into the median. When the driver tried to get back on the road, he lost control of the trailer, causing it to detach and roll onto the highway. The driver and his passenger walked away from the crash with only minor injuries.
Like Fargo School District, West Fargo is also considering a special education-only facility. The proposed facility would serve 6th through 8th graders with complex behaviors from both West Fargo and Fargo. The general mock-up shows the facility would be connected to Heritage by a hallway. The district says it's a necessary step forward, but critics say it amounts to segregation.
When a student is not doing well in a setting C, we run out of options to keep our students within a school setting. So our next option, which would be a setting D, which would mean a separate school, we don't have that.
Children with disabilities, anytime you separate them and put them in a different area, that's segregation.
Right now, the school district is conducting a study to determine the need for the facility and what types of support it needs to have.
Stay off your phone or stay off the road. That's the message from some Minnesota law enforcement tonight after they say they've been seeing more people pulling over on the roads and then checking their phones.
Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer hit the streets to see if people across the river are obeying the law.
Dante Baker is originally from a small North Dakota town, but he branched away and now goes to school in Moorhead. He tells us when he's behind the wheel, focusing on the road is his #1 priority. And that's why he says he puts away all distractions when sitting in the driver's seat.
I usually just put it in the cup holder and don't really pay attention to it.
But that's not the case for everyone. In fact, if everyone was like Dante, we might not be doing this story. With the new hands-free law in Minnesota, troopers are now seeing another issue on Minnesota roads. That's people pulling over to check or use their phones, sometimes on the freeway. And in case you didn't know, it's illegal to stop there unless it's an emergency. And while it's not against the law to pull over on regular roads, troopers say it's still dangerous.
I mean, we see it and that's it. We're not hands-on with it, really.
Jessica Sather has been a taxi driver in the FM Metro for a little over 2 years now. In that time, she has seen a lot of people on their phones, whether it's her own passengers or people passing her on the road. But she tells us that's something you won't find her doing while behind the wheel.
If it's important, obviously, I would try and find somewhere to pull over.
Same goes for Baker. He says he does exactly what troopers suggest.
Usually I just pull off to like a gas station or something just to, if it's really that important.
That's if you have to use your phone, pull into a parking lot, or get off the highway. In Moorhead, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
Minnesota State Patrol Trooper Sergeant Jesse Grabo also wants to remind you that you can be cited if you're caught using your phone at a stop sign or a light.
People with mental health issues are sometimes being wrongly lumped together with criminals, and representatives from several agencies say North Dakota needs to do a better job in providing services for them. Today, counselors and families shared frustrating stories of patients taken into custody rather than medical facilities where they could get help. Many agencies say behavioral health has become the biggest issue facing their communities.
What we kind of consider the public nuisance crimes, the disorderly conducts, the criminal trespasses, the detoxes, and jail ends up being the default location for them simply because there's nowhere else for them to go.
Some of the recommendations include construction of partial hospitals to keep patients from being held in jails and professional training for first responders on crisis management relating to mental health.
3 years ago tomorrow, North Dakotans said yes to the use of medicinal marijuana. As of Halloween, the state reports more than 1,600 active medical marijuana cards being handed out. Recent legislation has allowed more than 130 veterans in the program. The state is very close to 8 legal dispensaries.
North Dakota has a plan to improve customer service and wait times at the state's driver's license offices. The DOT says it will increase staff at the state's busiest locations, including Fargo, Bismarck, and Williston. The department also plans to provide more testing for Class D licenses covering farm vehicles. They plan on doing that by working with public schools and private driving schools, as well as bringing all of its offices up to date.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
Well, it's really cooling off quickly once again. It's been a very chilly week of weather, but we do have a little bit of a warm-up to talk about, and it actually begins as we head to bed tonight. Currently, we're looking out over Moorhead, and out to the east is where things are the coldest. We are 19 here in the FM area. Feels like 8 with those winds from the south-southeast now at 9 miles per hour. As the wind churns, that will help keep us from cooling off quite so quickly, but also we have warmer air out to the west. It's going to be pushing our way. So from the Red River Valley right now in points west, temperatures aren't too bad. Some of the cool spots include Gwinner at 14, Valley City at 16, and you in Grand Forks right now, 15 degrees. Here's a look off to the east. This is where things are really chilly. Bemidji, 3 degrees, your temperature. At least it's above 0 for now. So we're seeing a quick falling of temperatures in the early overnight as we take a look at the wind speeds. Notice that we have stronger winds out to the west. That helps to stir up the atmosphere, and as warmer air punches in our general direction, we'll have a chance to see these temperatures go up. But for now, wind chills are in the single digits, both above and below 0 in Thief River Falls right now. Feels like 1 below on exposed skin. Yeah, I know, it's the northern plains and it's that time of the year, but it's still very chilly out there. Under mostly clear skies, we have a few high clouds drifting through the western part of the Dakotas tonight, and your hour-by-hour forecast shows this warmer blob of air out to the west. As we head to bed, temperatures will fall briefly for the next hour to 3 hours, particularly out in central Minnesota, and then start rising towards daybreak. Most of us will be 15 to 20 degrees as we start out our Friday. Winds from the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour in the morning, and it does look like we'll have cloud cover. And that cloud cover sticks around through the midday hours as the winds pick up 15 to 20 miles per hour. Yes, it'll be cloudy, so it's not going to be one of them beautiful postcard type of warm-ups. It's going to be cloudy and breezy. Then, as we get ready to get off of work for the day, a chance of some snow showers passing through, mainly along and north of Highway 2 in northeast North Dakota and northwest Minnesota. A quick, slippery inch or so of snow possible into your Friday night. Our southern counties, for now, it looks mainly dry, although I do not think it would be surprising to see a light area of sleet or even some freezing drizzle for a sticky Friday drive in the evening. Temperatures to start your day near 20, ramping up to close to 40. Winds from a southwesterly direction will be on the breezy side, 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here is a look at your hometown forecast. The best shot at 40 along and south of Interstate 94. Highway 2 and points north will be close to freezing up there, and likewise low to mid 30s across most of central and western Minnesota. Oh dear, big deer opener coming up here soon. Rick sighting this 10-pointer near Lake Ida. Well, good luck and please be safe out there, all of you partaking in the hunting opener. Here's your Saturday forecast for the bison. We stay milder, 35 degrees. Then that's it. We're going to pull the rug out from this warm spell right back into the cold stuff. Temperatures in the 20s on Sunday. Look at these lows, single digits. In fact, an air mass arriving on Tuesday looks pretty frigid indeed, with highs in the teens for most of the area. Slight chance of some light snow showers for the middle of the week as well.
Okay, well, we're cheered up a little bit by the weekend forecast, right?
Well, I was going to say, why didn't you just say 40 if it's going to drop off the table after
Yeah,
that?
he's taking notes. Yeah, okay. Right, you're going to throw that away the
we
second
may have
you
to make
walk
an
away.
adjustment. Tomorrow's Friday now. Tune in and see if we get it up to 40.
Later on Valley News Live at 10, more testimonies released in the impeachment investigation revealing what President Donald Trump may have wanted from Ukraine.